Could have went either way with a couple pitches here or there. But for the most part, with Oklahoma State and the new transfers and some new players that they have the ability to do some damage.
First pitch swinging. Lindsey Rude grounds out to Sydney Pennington. And away we go. So 1 pitch, 1 out for the starter tonight. In the circle, there's Sydney Shao.
Yeah,
Samantha Shao, pardon me.
I have been following Shao ever since she started out at Texas A&M. She made the transfer over here. Love the fact that she's a two-way player. She hits, she pitches. I think she's a better pitcher when she does hit. The only thing that's a little bit concerning for me is 19 innings pitched, 10 earned runs. And that ERA is a little too high. If you look at her, she has that consistent drop ball and has 3 different strikeout pitches. That's what makes her unique. She has to use that senior experience.
And a nice start. She's out ahead of Amani Bradley. 0-2. Just outside, now a ball and 2 strikes. So that's the key for Shao today, is really got to own those 3 pitches. Pitch on the way. Slapped into left, a base hit for Bradley. So this is the Cal Golden Bears starting lineup, brought to you by St. Pete Clearwater. A team that has started 4-3. And look out for Michaela Coelho, who's at the dish. 3rd in the order for Diane Neinmeyer. Coelho, the sophomore, hitting .348 7 games into the season. This is a Golden Bears team that has reached 4 straight NCAA tournaments. Now the question is, how much further can this Cal team advance, perhaps, in the postseason? Montgomery over to first. There's 2 out. Bradley to second base.
Next to the plate, number 21, catcher Smith.
McKenna Smith, the California native, hitting cleanup for the Golden Bears. Bradley in scoring position after the single. Smith has gone yard once this season. For Cal, the 3rd of its 5 games this tournament. And Cal, one of the few teams, it actually plays all 4 days. So their 5 games spread out from Thursday through Sunday. Diane Neinmeyer's team will be well traveled before their first home game in late March.
And they need to come to this tournament to get and play these types of teams, these ranked teams. Cal needs to get back on the market. They need to go and compete a little better in that Pac-12. They make the Pac-12 better, and I think that they've struggled a little bit. They always get to a regional and they're so close, they give a team a run for their money, and then they're just not able to get past the regional. And you think about last time they went to the World Series, Jolene Henderson was their pitcher, who's now a grad assistant at Florida. So, I mean, it's been a while since they have been there. So it's important, I think, for Cal to try out and really go have a great year this year.
And Cal will be very much tested early on this season. In Clearwater for this star-studded tournament. Then the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic next weekend. Chance to score a first-inning run. Bayless's throw is late. And the Golden Bears have started with a first-inning run. McKenna Smith.
When you see the catcher's glove go up in the air, I think that that was meant to be up higher, out of the zone. Left too much down plate, almost takes Shao out up the middle. In all honesty, with Shao being a senior pitcher, she just has to be better. You have to hit better spots when you're ahead in the count.
And this is not Shao's first start during the Invitational. It's actually her 4th start this season, 5th time on the mound. Home plate umpire says fair. Even the catcher for Oklahoma State, Mackenzie Thomas, was perhaps waiting for the shriek that it was foul. Inning is over. So Cal still tacks on a run in the top half of the first. This one just fair. Bottom of the first inning in Clearwater, Zoe Conley, the senior from Berkeley, gets the start. What's the scouting report on Conley?
Well, she has a great changeup. She has to really mix speeds. And you'll see she's only 5'2", but her drop ball is devastating. Has the ability, even in that small stature, to throw the ball in the upper 60s. You see that one pumping in at 68.
Fourth start of the year for the senior. Finds the corner nicely. Conley and Cal winners yesterday against James Madison. Golden Bears at the halfway mark. This is their 3rd game. Face a ranked Notre Dame team later today, plus Minnesota on Sunday. Off speed on the outer edge. Cal with a little energy right at the forefront of this game. A first-inning run. And Conley faces an Oklahoma State offense that has been hard to figure out, at least in this tournament. Strike 3 call. Here's Oklahoma State's lineup. Bayless, Naomi, and Shao expected in the first. And Shao, the great two-way star. And Kenny Gajewski, recruited to Stillwater. Here's the 4th-year head coach. He's trying to lead Oklahoma State to its 4th straight NCAA tournament. He brought in these transfers like Shao from Texas A&M, for example. Naomi, the freshman from Louisiana.
I like Conley coming in. She's throwing the heat. Falls behind here, but has been pretty efficient finding that strike zone.
Already with 1 strikeout. And there's a walk. So it's not a home run, and Naomi did that in the first inning yesterday against James Madison. Conley does lose her though, so here is Samantha Shao, Conley's counterpart, who also hits. .345 average for the transfer from Texas A&M. A mighty rip, that's strike 1.
Shao transferring from an A&M. 3 SEC transfers to Oklahoma State. And this is them. You have Gabby Sprang from Tennessee, Springfield, LSU, who got to play her alma mater a couple days ago, which was probably a little bit strange.
Runner takes off, and a bullet from Smith. 2 down. McKenna Smith.
Smith with the rifle. See her throw that. Bayless, or excuse me, Naomi doesn't even make it to the base for that ball.
So about as strong as a first inning as you can get for Smith. Drove in California's run and just threw out a runner. Two. Shao swings and misses. Conley bringing some heat. Faces the minimum. Cal still leads after 1. The championships by conference. The Pac-12 with the most 23, and the next closest conference with nearly 20 fewer. That's the Big 12, the SEC with some recent championships over the last decade, and then the most recent national champion, the Florida State Seminoles, defending champs. And yes, that was not only the schools, but the conference's first national championship. So Sydney Shao goes from a conference with 3 national championships to one with 4, but it's that other Oklahoma school that has all 4 of them, Oklahoma. So Destiny Bluford flies out.
Well, and the motto, what have you done for me lately, right? Like the Pac-12, it's Pac-10 back in the day, amazing 23 national championships, but last time was what, 2012? So that attitude of, and Cal being one of them, 2002, they got to get this team back on the map. 12 Women's College World Series appearances. It's been a while.
Wide throw, but 2 down. So
last time they won a regional 7 years ago. So this is going from a program that's won a national championship that back in the day when I would play against them, they were so ferocious and scrappy and tough. Not saying that they're not that now, but this is a team you want to see get back up higher in the ranks, finish better in the Pac-12, and make a little bit of a better postseason push.
And Cal specifically, thanks in large part to what Diane Niemeyer has done for more than 3 decades, with the 5th most Women's College World Series appearances. So will a super regional this year be Bear territory? That's what we'll find out in a few months. Cameron Kondo, the sophomore from San Carlos. We have been lucky today. We have been here. This is now our 2nd game on field 9 at the Eddie C. Moore Complex. And we've seen our 3rd Hall of Fame head coach. In that first base dugout, that's Diane Neinmeyer. 3 decades, the head coach. You mentioned the national championship in 2002. Of course, there is that desire to get back to the Women's College World Series. How would you describe what she has built and sustained in Berkeley for 3 decades?
Oh, for sure. I mean, Cal is a program that's going to go down in history, especially for that national championship. But like I said, what have you done for me lately? And that's when you look at the UCLA and the Washington going to the Women's College World Series, and those Pac-12 teams are getting there and making a little bit of a push at the World Series. So the history is great of the Pac-12, and you love all of that, but the game is evolving so much, and conferences are getting so much better, as you've seen. Big 12 winning 4. You just take a look. I think if the Pac-12 is going to do anything this year, it's either going to come behind the Player of the Year and Garcia last year, or Washington. They have both Gabby Plain and Taryn Alvello back in the circle, who were runners-up in the Women's College World Series last year. You never want to count Arizona out, but they haven't been able to get past the Super Regional in a while to get to the World Series.
Jordan Fines in right field today. And that is a difficult road to pursue this season for Cal. 3 Pac-12 teams, as you just saw, are in the top 10 currently. I'd expect those 3 to remain there for quite some time this year as well.
Yeah, and they're all going to be squaring off against each other when Pac-12 play starts, and that's why the importance of having a really tough conference is a great thing, because it helps continue to keep your RPI up, which is a huge factor for where your postseason ranking is going to be. And a lot of the importance comes with who you're playing in preseason. Another reason why this tournament is unbelievable for these teams to play top 25 ranked teams,
including Oklahoma State. Cowgirls hit when we come back.
Thank you to Dr. Anderson for No Burn Sports.
Welcome back to Clearwater. This is the site of the St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational. A wonderful place to visit. We've certainly been happy to spend the last couple days in Clearwater near the beach. We're at the Eddie C. Moore Complex, where Oklahoma State trails Cal by a run. Still early. 39 wins, and that was the most for Oklahoma State last year since 2011. That actually was the last time the Cowgirls advanced to a Women's College World Series. The best season yet under head coach Kenny Gajewski.
And I think just adding some different players into the mix this year can only improve that number, and one of them being Sam Shao, two-way player, pitcher, hitter. Springfield over at first base. And then on the flip side, as far as Cal goes, they're going to go how their pitching goes. And I think Conley, how she came out the first inning was just blowing smoke right away. I mean, 60, 66, I saw her throw 69 a couple times. She has to continue to do that. And pitching is a mindset, and it's making yourself do what you want to do. And that's so much easier said than done. But we as pitchers can get so incredibly mental on ourselves and doubt our ability and then just get rattled. So for her to come out, she needs to be the one that's going to help carry this Cal team further in the postseason. They also have Kamalani Dung, who can help, but for the most part, Conley and what she's experienced, it's going to come down to her. So it's, you need to be consistent. When you are a senior pitcher, consistency is your friend. Every single outing, your team should know what they're going to get from you.
Leadoff base runner for Oklahoma State. And this year for Cal, just like a year ago, it's pretty much just that duo, right? Conley and Kamalani Dung are the two that we'll see 95% of the time, perhaps, in the circle. Here's Taylor Lynch from Red Oak, Texas. Tore her ACL in early October, and you see the brace on the knee. Refused the surgery, and she's playing this season for Oklahoma State.
When you think how grueling rehab and going through all of that truly is, it's hard. And knock on wood, I've never had to battle an injury and go through the redshirt year where you're legit just getting surgery, you're rehabbing, you have to be around a team that is playing and you're not. There's so many different emotions. But I could understand why she's saying, hey, this is my senior year. I don't want to wait around another year. If I can give you 80% of my best self, then why not? And I think they also realize too that, like, if you take that redshirt year, you're going to lose some people, right? You're going to lose some studs in the circle. You're going to lose some seniors.
That's commendable. Conley, though, gets the best of Lynch first time around. Third punch out for Zoe Conley.
Well, look at that drop spin. So pretty. Like I said, her being only 5'2" and still able to get the amount of movement that drop has.
There's the sophomore from Oklahoma. Couple home runs already for Richburg. Good sub, strike one.
And I think for Conley, it just shows how physically strong she is, because when she's on the mound, the average pitcher gets pretty close to the edge of the circle. And when Conley finishes out in her motion, she's not even close to the end, which means she has so much driving force from that back half through when she lands. It's not about for her how far out she goes, but when her front foot touches down, how explosive she can be from that back half of her pitch.
4 strikeouts for Conley in the opening innings.
Now batting number 21, Pennington.
She came into this game with a lot of strikeouts, probably one too many walks as well. And today, she has done nothing but strikeout cowgirl hitters or walk cowgirl hitters. 4 punch-outs, 2 walks.
Well, and the beauty of these types of tournaments, which I also did love, because it starts to get grueling when you go into conference play, because you're playing the same team 2 to 3 times.
This one back off of Conley. Recovers nicely. Perez was off the bat.
So I think when Conley knows that she has the ability to go and face this team and may not face them again, it's a little bit easier to go out there and show them everything you got. Liner back from Pennington.
Now batting number 15,
Didn't look like it hurt her too bad, but timeout was called from the new pitching coach, Angelica Selden, UCLA graduate.
Is UCLA your favorite in the Pac-12 this year? It's almost easy to say they're the #1 ranked team, but someone else challenged them more so than others would think.
Well, I mean, I really like UCLA because I'm a huge Garcia fan. Like, I've jumped on that bandwagon. Like I continue to say, I love the two-way players and her ability to make an impact on both sides. And I just think the older she gets, the better she's going to get. She plays on Team USA. It's hard not to be a fan. So UCLA, I think, is up there. And like I said, with Washington bringing a lot back from last year and them coming second in the Women's College World Series, are definitely going to make a push against them. And they'll be squaring it off in Pac-12 play.
The wind pushing this, foul. Sydney Springfield, the LSU transfer, almost snuck that one right around the foul pole. Today has been windier than yesterday, and especially as we've kind of pushed into the afternoon in Clearwater. Winds whipping at about as high as 15 miles per hour this afternoon.
If you're a pitcher, you're hoping that that's blowing in, giving you a little bit more heat on that fastball than.
Spoken like a pitcher.
It's a nice breeze up here. It is coming straight.
Off speed in for strike two. Conley working at a nice pace early on. Can she strand a pair? Payoff. Springfield waited on it nicely. Has another chance.
Conley was coming with the flip change. Springfield waits on that. That's a tough pitch. The flip change tends to be a little bit slower than the everyday regular changeup, so you have to keep your weight back a bit.
We'll do this again. Junior from Flower Mound, Texas. Oklahoma State began its tournament against LSU. Sydney Springfield, who plays first base, was a mere feet away from most of her former teammates. Bases are now full for the Cowgirls.
And that's the pitch that Conley has to shore up. Like, that's a 3-2 count. You almost threw that over the catcher. Like, that's the difference that she has to be able to make moving forward. You cannot continue to walk people, that being her third walk of the day. It's just not, it's not acceptable when we're in the second inning.
And we're not yet once through the order. Chelsea Alexander, the number 9 hitter.
And if I'm a defender, that frustrates me, right? Like, your defense is out there playing behind you, like, use us, right? Like, and I would have people that would come up to me and say, like, hey, come on, let's go use the defense. That's why we're here. Don't try to pitch perfect. Or they would say, why are you trying to pitch to strike everyone out? Like, we need a little love too.
Strike two.
Well, when she locates the rise ball up in the zone and has control over it, I think that it's a really good pitch. It's when she throws that and it's just way out. I mean, I test the waters again against Thomas. I spin that rise up underneath her hands. And what is a little bit harder than most people think is being a drop ball, rise ball pitcher. And that's really hard to get true spin on both is really, really difficult, because when you're so used to throwing down, 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 your body tends to want to go down when you're throwing that rise ball. So having the ultimate control over those two pitches is a tough thing.
Inning over. 5 strikeouts for Conley. Back in Clearwater for the St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational presented by Wilson. The first annual, the first owned and operated ESPN softball tournament, and we're happy to have you along with us. Cal with the 1-0 lead over the 17th ranked Oklahoma State Cowgirls. This tournament, invitational, riddled with fantastic matchups, top 25 matchups as well. Danielle, we're here at Field 9. We've got a terrific battle between the Pac-12 and the Big 12 right next door. LSU and Florida State battling. Our friends Tiffany Green, Amanda Scarborough have that call. 1-0 Florida State in the second inning. Later today, Oregon and Kentucky. That's on ESPNU at 4 Eastern. You having fun this weekend?
I'm having a blast. You know what I do love, though? These close-scoring games. I think sometimes it just reminds me of the postseason when it's so close. Not that you don't like the bombs and OU 17-3 on Hofstra, but when I say give the people what they want, they like the tight games, aka me. We'll have what he's having.
You like your burger medium rare or
I like to go.
Well,
I like to go medium.
okay, right
Just
in the
keep
middle.
it even. Yeah. Not sure those chips though. Is that like a new brand? Let's,
Sorry it wasn't baked Lay's for you.
now you're telling everyone my favorites. Not. I'm getting hammered on the headset here for everyone that's listening about my Canadian ketchup chips poutine. That's not me.
They're not your favorite?
I mean, there is nothing better than a good ketchup chip, but it's been a while. But I don't go to Canada to buy the ketchup chips and bring them across the border, so like some of my teammates have that live in the U.S. They'll like order them on
I think
Amazon.
you just contradicted yourself.
I don't do that though.
Now, it didn't look like Rude was on the way, and the overthrow allows her the chance to get down there. And down a run, that's not the mistake you want to make.
Well, and this is a play that Thomas has to shore up with that throw to Montgomery. You got to get that on the money.
Now the runner goes hit and run. Shao running out of time. The tag. Runner is safe, according to Ron Alexander. That looked like Pennington might have gotten the tag on the runner. And Kenny Gajewski immediately out there to protest Alexander's calls. Take a look.
Ooh. This is
The throw is a little offline, but it almost allowed for a closer play for Pennington.
looked like it might have got her helmet just before her foot got in there. And the official call down on the field is ruled out.
She's out there. Was there interference beforehand?
You're right. She definitely on that angle was out. But if there was any touch at all to the shortstop, Naomi, then it would be an automatic out. So you're wondering if Gajewski brought that up. But based on that tag, when I saw it for the third time, she tagged her before she touched base.
Now, number 22, left fielder, Michaela
Great
Colella.
angle from our crew.
What are your thoughts on video replay like they have for MLB? Women's College World Series, I think that we should have video replay. Some of the biggest plays
I agree.
ever. What's the harm in if it's available, why not, right? Because then that would just be the true part of the game. So if her foot got in there first, then she should be safe. And if an umpire calls her out, and that's a winning run in a Women's College World Series game 2, and you know, they're just these little things. I think if the camera shows something, why not?
Oh, and tell me if this is fair. Perhaps the reasoning behind the dismissal of replay is the timeliness or lack thereof of it. It's a nice single through the hole for Coelho. But is that worth sacrificing? Or better said, is getting the call correct worth sacrificing for timeliness?
Well, if it could be the difference between winning a game and not. So
right.
I think that it's important to be able to, as a coach, say, hey, can I get the video replay on that? Because, yeah, it sets time away and a pitcher may have to sit in the circle. But like I said, there's some big calls. Even when you think about when I was just watching like the games prior to the Super Bowl, there was some big games with that and issues that happened with that they weren't able to review, and it could have been a game changer. It could have been a completely different team in the Super Bowl. Just
right.
Little things like that. It doesn't take away from the game. It just magnifies if a person is safe or out. I'm not saying you have to go behind the plate and say if this is a ball or a strike. I'm saying there are some big plays that are called safe when they're really out at home, and just little things like that.
And so it seems we may be in agreement. At least the introduction of some sort of replay is necessary. Let it be tinkered and fine-tuned over time. It doesn't have to be perfect upon first introduction, as has every sports replay system over the years, whether that's college or pro sports. It usually takes a number of years and modifications.
I wonder if you put a petition out there for coaches to say if they would want it or not, because you just think about how hard it is to get to the Women's College World Series, right? Whether even if you chose to do it in postseason, but the Women's College World Series, an elimination game, some play happens that doesn't go in your favor, but you have the ability to change it based on video footage that says that, yeah, the umpire was in the wrong, let's change the call. And I know that it may take away from the momentum of the game, but people work their tail off all season to get to these moments that potentially can be messed up on the blue, and it's not their fault. It's just a timing piece. There's a lot that goes into the timing, and you're watching so many things, and they're human. But you know what isn't? A camera. It has the ability to slow the game down and zoom in on things that we don't have the exact eye to be able to do.
So would you want it modeled after, you referenced Major League Baseball's replay system, would you want it modeled after that?
I think so. I mean, it does get annoying when they do. I don't think that it's something that shouldn't be outside of like a postseason feel. It shouldn't be every single game. Maybe it would get to that, but.
How about Shao bouncing back and her first strikeout?
Next to the plate, number 44, Carly Sparacino.
And back to the replays of things, I think if you were able to make it quicker, it'd be an easier decision to say, yeah, like if you get something in under 15 seconds, make the call to New York, get it in, you got a 20-second clock, boom. Because there is nothing worse than as a pitcher, it's kind of like you're icing the kicker, right? Like you're calling time, then you're keeping them out there. I think if you can get it within that 15 to 20-second mark, you're not taking too much time, coach can go out, talk to the pitcher, do whatever, it would be an easier yes. But I will say in MLB, sometimes you're waiting for a minute 30.
Sometimes much longer.
The pitchers are like starting to roll it over. Like that's when it wouldn't make any sense.
"60 seconds. Is it fair to say if nothing can, if the other outcome cannot be determined or confirmed in 60 seconds, all right, it's fair to just call it inconclusive. We'll keep the call.
Yeah.
I think we'd all agree on that. Shaw's going to strain a couple runners. Richburg puts it away. 1-run game. Top of the order, 2 up for Oklahoma State. It's coming up in 90. Zoe Conley, 5 strikeouts in the circle for California. A 1-0 lead over Oklahoma State. Top of the order, is Riley Bayless. And Conley out in front of another hitter. Bayless, one of the 5 strikeout victims for Conley, 1 time through the order. The Pac-12 and the Big 12 clashing. Cal is going to tussle with Arizona and UCLA and Washington this year. Oklahoma State, remember, it finished 2nd in the conference behind Oklahoma last year. But now all of a sudden you have a Texas team with a new head coach and Mike White. It will be pretty difficult to breach the top 3 in either conference for each of these schools.
Yeah, it's been a while since Texas has been really good. You know, they've always been legit, and you think to those Kat Osterman days, she was one of the pitchers I used to watch and be like, oh man, I want to be like her. And Connie Clark, the coach that was there for quite some time and really put Texas on the map, and I think I'm not the only one that is happy that they've got someone there that has a chance to bring Texas back. And that is to just benefit the softball world in general.
6 strikeouts. 2nd time Conley has fanned Bayless.
Conley today, working the drop ball. Gotta love it. Brings the ball up in the zone a little bit. She's throwing that thing hard. She's throwing in the upper 60s, 66, 67. But look at that thing tailing down. I mean, we're only in the bottom 3. We'll see the 2nd time through the lineup how Oklahoma State's gonna make the adjustments. And on the flip side, what Conley's gonna do. Anything, I would say just shore up those walks. 3 walks, first time through the lineup. Limit that.
Kylie Naomi homered yesterday. Oklahoma State scored 8 runs against Utah. It scored 1 in its first 2 games against LSU, shutout against Notre Dame. California had one of those, whoa, what happened here games yesterday, or 2 days ago, I should say, got run ruled by Texas in 5 innings. And now, on day 3, a 1-run lead over Oklahoma State. And Conley looks, like you said, at least 1 time through the order. Unhittable.
It's probably settling in a little bit to the emotions, starting your senior season. How you want to go out, and I know that I keep paraphrasing this, but it couldn't be more true. You're not going to come out in February and play your best softball. But based on class, meaning she's a senior, she should know more than most the emotions of going into February, playing these teams. And it shouldn't take very long to start to settle in to a routine. And I think Cal's best chances are when she throws like she does today. She's hitting pretty good spots. Obviously, we have to shore up the walks, but good downward spin. She's throwing the ball hard.
And while, yes, it is February, is there one team here in Clearwater that's intrigued you at least a few days in?
Florida State. I mean, they should win it again. They have King, and they have a couple pitchers on staff that definitely can hold up their end of the bargain. And offensively, they've brought back so many players from that 2018 National Championship. So, I mean, I think Florida State is the should team, and you can say the team should win it, but there's a lot that goes into the luck piece and things that just kind of fall your way. But when it's all said and done, that team experienced a lot together last year. So I'd say as of right now, they're the best candidate.
Strike 3 called. Conley punches at Xiao for the second time. Cal leads. We'll talk to Oklahoma State head coach Kenny Gajewski next. Back in Clearwater, Cal has a 1-0 lead over Oklahoma State. And we're joined by the head coach, Kenny Gajewski, in his 4th season in Stillwater. Coach, this is your last day here at the Invitational. You've played a number of ranked teams. How would you describe the last couple days early in the season for your team?
Tough. Good teams. Quality is really good. It's like a carnival out here. It's unreal what ESPN's been able to create. So I'm thankful that we have a chance to be out here to play and to show what we can do.
Coach, your team for me is, I look at it as like a sniper team leading up towards the end of the season. Obviously that's a long way away, but I like you guys a lot. What is some of the favorite things you like about Oklahoma State heading into this season?
Well, first off, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. But, I just think that this team, as we get all our new kids kind of used to each other and figure out our lineup and our depth, I think we've got a chance, to be really good. And we're going to be tested early and often. Our schedule's really good, and I'm just excited about where we can go.
Coach, appreciate the time. Good luck the rest of the way and against Hofstra. Thanks for the time.
Thanks.
A carnival he called this tournament. So much to do, so much going on, and it is one game to the next. And this is where the St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational is just ahead of the curve here. The event last night for all the teams, they were invited.
That was a blast.
Down near the beach.
What was your favorite part?
I would like to say one of the many tacos that I consumed, but I don't want to favor one over the other. There's a lot of good food down there.
Those donuts.
That's right.
I dreamt about those donuts. Those were incredible.
I was disappointed you did not go with the bacon caramel covered donut.
I did. I had 2.
Did you? I commend
way to
you
make me
then.
admit that on the air.
I commend you then.
That was such a cool little event, though. Like all those food trucks, you had the team all together. You had the 7-inning podcast. Give me some Jimmy. Set it up. He had it going. It was a really cool event. And I hope these young women know how amazing this tournament is and how much we appreciate and love calling this game. It was a shy bunch with the 7 Innings podcast, though, when we were sitting up on stage and asking questions. We couldn't get, people might have been intimidated, I don't know. We couldn't get a lot out of them.
You, Amanda Scarborough, Michelle Smith, Tiffany Green, Beth Mowens, Holly Rowe is up there as well. So that podcast, that is, I believe, episode 2 of this season's 7 Innings podcast. So catch that when Jimmy drops it, I suppose. I thought it was neat. The 7 of you were sharing special moments during your careers and then during your careers of covering the game. You shouted out your friend Kayla Breaux, and Alabama won the national championship a few years back. That was, as you mentioned, special for you to watch. Yeah, there it is, the weekly podcast. Features the entire Women's College World Series talent team on the ESPN app, iTunes, wherever you can get your podcasts. Or follow it at 7 Innings Podcast. How about the off speed from Shao? So 2 balls and 2 strikes.
She's on her game when she's able to throw that pitch. Pretty consistent for a strike. Has 3 strikeout pitches, drop ball being her main. Little change up, throw the ball up in the zone. You see a rise ball.
Naomi recovers, 1-2-3 inning. Shao has retired 5 straight. Cal leads. We'll talk to the head coach, Diane Ninemeyer. That's next. It's the St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational presented by Wilson at the NEC Moore Complex. Rumors that Danielle constructed that herself. Cal has a 1-0 lead. We have Diane Ninemeyer, the 32nd year head coach at Cal. Coach, appreciate the time. 7 strikeouts for Zoe Conley. Why the success? Few innings in.
Well, she's just hitting her spots. She's keeping their batters off balance, and she's moving her speeds. And they're a very good hitting team, but she's doing a great job so far.
Coach, new pitching coach on staff, and Angelica Selden. What do you think she's going to bring to your pitchers this year?
Well, I think she's going to help them bring in a variety of different pitches with different locations and speeds and get it really mixed up. And her being a great pitcher herself, I think she's got a great mindset for the game.
She's the Hall of Famer. Coach, appreciate the time.
Thank you.
So Cal trying to pick up a ranked win. It defeated James Madison last night, 7-2. And still has another opportunity against 24th ranked Notre Dame later today. That's also on the ESPN app at 7 Eastern time. What'd you get when you faced a Diane Ninemeyer team when you played at Washington?
Well, I know we had Jolene Henderson for a couple years. It just explains how old I am. I do not remember in my brain who pitched before Jolene, but it was Jolene Henderson, and amazing changeup. Got them to the World Series, like I said, but I got to face her for my senior year. But you put me on the spot. I'm blanking. I'm blanking on who was there. You take a look at that. 0 flyouts, 1 ground out. I don't want to jinx it, but they haven't hit the ball out of the infield yet on Conley. She's throwing great. She's consistent, keeping the ball down in the zone.
Oklahoma State hasn't hit anything out of the infield. A lone single, an infield single. Kenny Gajewski just said it to us. This has been a challenge this week. That's gone. There's your first home run, the first ball out of the infield. Maddie Sue Montgomery with her first solo shots. We're tied.
On me, I'll wear that one. Jinxing it for the pitcher. I had the pitcher's back, whether it's Shao or Conley. See, Conley throws this pitch down in the zone. Montgomery goes down and gets it. It's a little too much over the white of the plate. That's the problem. Heart of the plate. It's out of here. Ties this ball game up.
So when you hit a home run, you earn the chain. There it is. It's a little heavy. Look out, coach. One-two on the way. And Lynch stays alive. Lynch hitting .360, has driven in a few runs early on. Count full.
It's important for Conley, especially after giving up that bomb, to get this next lead out. stop the damage for sure. You don't want to put someone on base via the walk or free pass. You want to go and attack.
Off of Conley's glove. Rude gets the out at first. Take a look at this.
We have the 1-6-3. That thing goes so high up in the air. Able to come up with the big throw by Rude.
Rude, the senior from Danville, California. Was on the all Pac-12 first team roster a year ago. That is a senior that Diane Ninemeyer expects quite a bit from this year. If Cal is to break through, perhaps advance to a super regional, maybe its first Women's College World Series in almost a decade as well. To Richburg. And so there's the walk. 4th free pass Conley has issued today.
Now batting the captain, Sydney Pennington.
Pennington singled in the second. Conley didn't start at Cal. A transfer from Cal State Northridge. Her 3rd year on the mound at Berkeley. Finds the outside edge nicely.
I remember watching her in a regional at UCLA, and it was Taraya Flowers. Mims was the head coach at CSUN, and I remember watching her pitch in that regional, and I was thinking, she's really good, and not saying that she's too good to go to CSUN, but I was like, I think she could compete in the Pac-12 based on how she's just performing going against UCLA, and then it was that next year that she transferred over to Cal.
And now in the circle in her final season. That is just foul.
The second time through the lineup for Conley, I'd like to see her maybe throw that changeup a little bit more, keep it a little lower in the zone. Second time, third time, Oklahoma State's going to make the adjustment.
Just down and away. Pennington waits on it. Second out. 7 strikeouts for Conley before Oklahoma State got on the board, and it was the second time around when Maddie Sue Montgomery took her deep. And here's Sydney Springfield. Second, especially third time through an order, would you try to tweak a little bit, especially against some of the elite hitters?
Well, you just base it how they're making adjustments off you. So if they're changing where they're moving in the box, if they're swinging earlier in the count, you tend, hey, maybe I'll throw my changeup early. If they're taking big giant hacks, it's kind of like that pitching backwards philosophy. But like the first time through the lineup, if you have success against a team, why am I going to change unless you show me that you're going to make the adjustment, right? So if a team comes that second time around, okay, makes sense. See the pitching coach, Angelica Selden, played against her at UCLA.
Conley issues a 4-pitch walk, so that's the 5th. He's trying to tightrope out of this 4th inning. It was a 1-0 advantage before Montgomery ripped that solo home run. Now you've got a runner in scoring position for Chelsea Alexander, the left fielder. Remember, Alexander, her last time up was in the 2nd inning with the bases loaded. She struck out. And here's the aforementioned pitching coach out in the circle.
Well, I like her calling timeout. I mean, has walked 2 hitters here. Pitch counts high, 91 pitches and only 4 innings. Pretty equal. You want to see the strikes be quite a bit higher than the balls. But to come out, I mean, I used to like when my pitching coach would come out and would get on me and hold me accountable and say, I mean, man, you've walked the last 2 hitters. Like, what's the deal? Let's go. You got 2 out. Get your team back in the dugout. They're going to score you some runs. I mean, I felt like I was coached better when someone got mad at me because it would make me want to do it.
She did offer.
And I feel like that's what would be the hardest part about going back to coach, being a pitching coach and being a former pitcher. It's like I have 0 control over what's going to happen, right? So she can walk out there and tell her like, hey, let's go, throw strikes. But you're sitting there and you're just hoping that she does it. I would have such a tough time with not having any control. But we're talking, like I even get nervous when I call games when it's close. Postseason, oh man. Like I wake up in the mornings in postseason and I feel like I'm playing in the game. I get those like butterflies in my stomach. I'm like, man, I'm feeling like I'm on the hill today, but I'm not. But I just get that feeling.
This could bring in a run. Bluford recovers a wide throw. Oklahoma State now with 2 runs in the 4th. What looked like an inning-ending ground ball over to Rude, who made a terrific play earlier this frame. It's off the edge of the glove.
And this is a play that has to be made. You see Rude go attack it, and she slightly takes her head off the ball a little bit to try to get that ball over to Bluford so they're able to get the force out at second. See her head drift up a bit. Ball first, ball first. And unfortunately, that little miscue puts the go-ahead run up for Oklahoma State.
It looked like Richburg running past her might have thrown off her sight line for a split second as well. Look at the hesitation when the runner goes by.
Well, and it's definitely hard when someone's running in front of you. You're trying to track the ball. You're worrying about that runner, but ball first. All you can worry about in that moment is, okay, that runner's gone by you. Where's the ball? Get your footwork proper and get that ball over to 2 for that easy out, because that should have been an easy routine play at 2.
So it'll be an unearned run for Conley, but her team is down.
Here it comes now. Pitch the hit right here.
The off speed again. Bayless,
Strike one time and not the next time.
hopefully not too much in her own head. She struck out twice, showed some frustration after punching out in the 3rd. With 2 outs, Oklahoma State can try to bust this open. Runners will advance. Now, one swing of the bat could propel Oklahoma State from down 1 entering this inning to up 3.
Oh, one more run. This is your pitch right here. They don't want to walk you.
That's foul. Two runs, but only 1 hit in this inning for Oklahoma State. Conley has walked a pair. An error allowed the 2nd run to score. A wild pitch has runners at 2nd and 3rd. Conley's got to bear down. The 3-2 coming. And we'll do it again.
Well, and that's just the little things that need to be shored up. So as far as Conley goes, the walks, they're an issue. You have to figure that out. But number 2, we've gotten to the 4th inning, 2nd time through the lineup, and some stuff has happened. So you're right, she has to bear down, has to find a way to use her defense here, and they come up big behind her.
Off speed, Rude chases, a base hit. Coelho's throw cut off. 4-1 lead for Oklahoma State, and Bayless was flummoxed twice against Conley. This time drives in 2 with the single.
When she waits on this change, you see the flip. The problem with the flip change is when pitchers miss, they miss up in the zone, and that's exactly what she does. Bayless keeps her weight back. She is not fooled. Blurbs this right in over Rude's head. Picks up 2 big RBIs for Oklahoma State.
Don't leave her out there.
And the reaction from Bayless. Time is called. This looks like the end of the afternoon for Conley. Kamalani Dung in the circle, and we come back. Cal up 1, entering the 4th, down 3. Back in 60 seconds. Kamalani Dung replaces Zoe Conley with 2 outs in the 4th.
They're bringing in another senior to come in and hopefully limit the damage here. We have 2 outs. Transfer from Fresno State over to Cal. Also plays with Puerto Rican national team. Take a look at her numbers so far this season. 9 innings pitched. Not digging the balls. 8 walks so far in the season. 7 Ks. See what she can do.
Now she enters a game in which Oklahoma State has walked 5 times. And not quite 4 innings. Runner at second, and that's Bayless, just drove in a pair with a single. And Dung misses. Dung was superb a season ago in her first year in Berkeley. Must retire Kylie Naomi. .33 appearances, 27 starts last year, and a sub-2 ERA for Dung. First year in the Pac-12. Count goes full. Golden Bears had a 1-0 lead at the start of the 4th. Now it trails. Dung needs 1 more. And that's foul.
This season is going to be how can you come out and pitch that red hot and keep doing that. You know, it can't be you all of a sudden get to the 4th, 5th inning and then stuff starts to spiral. It's going to have to be how can I be consistent.
Rude makes that play. The inning is over. 4-run bottom of the 4th. It started with Maddie Sue Montgomery's solo blast. Bayless drove in 2. Big in. Samantha Shao in the circle.
The right fielder, number 18,
Jordan Fines at the dish. Away we go in the 5th.
And that being a 26-minute half inning for Oklahoma State. You didn't see Shao go down, warm up at all. See if she can come out. It's the one hard part about pitching. There can be a lot of sitting if your team's scoring you a lot of runs. So it's how can I come back into an inning with that same fire and I guess your body being warm prior to waiting out those 26 minutes.
You mentioned this during our last broadcast. You personally, you'd like to get up, run a little bit?
Yes, but it's because pitchers like routine, right? So for me, I like that routine of like, hey, if I get 2 outs, if I'm sitting for a long time, I'll throw. But if I get 2 outs, I like to make sure that I run down off the field to play and just run, get my heart rate up a little bit, and I eliminate myself from the bench. I like to kind of get away from everyone, think about what I want to do next inning, and then when the 3rd out happens, I run back, put my stuff down, go. I didn't used to do that a ton in college, though. It's weird.
Montgomery, who hit the home run the last half inning, up with it and on to first, so Fines is retired.
it might be, Kevin, that my body is quite a bit older now, so it does cool down easier than 20, 21, 23-year-olds out there in the circle.
The difference for Xiao is when she runs to the dugout after this half inning, she can't really remove herself from the bench. She leads off. She's hitting third in the order for Oklahoma State.
She just needs to hit a home run so she can trot the bases, get the heart rate up, you know?
It's really that simple. Yeah, while I have the chance, best of luck with Team Canada moving forward.
Thank you.
2020 Olympics.
We have to qualify first. But Softball is back in the Olympics, and that is a beautiful thing. But Team Canada still needs to qualify.
You mentioned it's coming up, right?
It's coming up August 25th through September 1st. And funny enough, Dung, the starting pitch, or the pitcher that just came in, will be on one of the teams that's trying to fight for a spot as well.
And that'll be Team Puerto Rico.
As well as G. Juarez with OU. She's on Puerto Rico. Megan King with Florida State is on Puerto Rico. Talk about feeling old when you have all these young 19, 20, 21-year-olds.
You're still very, in the words of Chip Kelly, very fleet of mind, of course, when you're out there. Doing my best there. Ground out to first.
Get me some ketchup chips and we'll call it even, all right?
The ketchup chip, I believe, from what I heard, is the official team snack of the Canadian national team. That may be off. Might be off on that.
That is way false.
Okay.
We have poutine in the dugouts. That's what it is.
It's not poutine, but it is salt and vinegar chips. Where was the best poutine in your hometown?
I didn't eat poutine. I'm just kidding. I never
Never had
ate.
it?
I mean, I would like.
You've had
that's
it
not my
once,
go
twice
to the.
before.
I go to the restaurant and be like, man, let's check out what poutine they have. That does not happen. I can't even give you an answer.
Montgomery up with it and on to first. More snack talk, maybe. Next. In Clearwater, Oklahoma State leads Cal from the circle to now the batter's box. Samantha Xiao just retired the side in order after her team spotted her with 4 runs an inning ago.
And Xiao, a couple strikeouts. She's got the swinging and looking.
2-0 to count. And those 2 at-bats were against Zoe Conley. Now the first time against Kamalani Dung. We showed it to you earlier, the 3 SEC transfers to Oklahoma State's roster, and Xiao, one of those transfers from Texas A&M. So you may think, wow, what a big hit to the SEC. Not quite, because Tennessee, LSU, and Texas A&M are all ranked in the top 15 in the national rankings. It just goes to show how strong those rosters are.
I think when you really think of the transfer portal, right now, there's only one team you think about, Oregon. How many players? I mean, they've lost 9 players on that team. You know that the occasional, hey, I don't like it, I'm going to go here and here, that happens. It's never talked about. I've never really talked about transfers until this year. And speak of the devil, Oregon walking in, when they've had to go through that, that's definitely when it deserves to be talked about, I think.
And the irony is it's been the transfer into Oregon's program, Jordan Dale, who has dominated on the mound, threw a no-hitter today and now has 2 victories here in Clearwater.
Well, if Oregon's going to try to make a little bit of a push, they're going to need Dale. McGrandle, I saw her throw. She's not bad, but I think Dale is someone that is going to have to come up big for them, and got the big win against LSU. And hey there, a little no-no. I actually saw that on Oregon's social media.
Did you favorite the post?
I don't know. I don't do that.
It's a nice catch, by the way, by Fines up against the fence down the line. So here's Maddie Sue Montgomery. Got the scoring started for Oklahoma State with that solo blast. It was a laser over the right field wall, and you pointed it out. She went down in the zone, caught a pitch from Conley, and dropped it over the right field wall. Well, I feel the transfer portal has received quite a bit of maybe unwarranted scrutiny. There's always been transfers. Now these transfers are just allowed to play virtually 99% of the time immediately. Of course, it's always case by case. If it's player first, then it's good for the game. The players have the flexibility to transfer if they so please.
I can agree with that. If you're unhappy, I don't think that it's fair to stay at a program if you truly are unhappy. I disagree with people trying to transfer to win championships, or if they're unhappy with playing time. That's earned. You don't walk into a program and, oh, I'm the starting pitcher, or I'm this. It takes time. And yes, there are freshmen that come in and make a big impact and get that opportunity right away. But I don't know if it's the younger generation with the weaker mentality of I should be the best, and if I'm not, I'm going to find another spot where I need to be so I can be. I think it more so if you're being mistreated or something like that, yeah, it's totally cool to transfer, you're unhappy. But if it's just mainly because the numbers that you aren't putting up are good enough to make you that everyday starter, I just don't feel like that's a reason to move programs.
So there's Gabby Sprang, one of the transfers. She comes over from Tennessee. So Kenny Gajewski is going to roll with these transfers, if you will. So Gajewski coaching at Oklahoma State. He played baseball in Norman at Oklahoma. He won a national championship in 1994. One of his teammates, Tim Walton. And those two were on the staff, of course, at Florida, where they won back-to-back national championships a couple of years ago. So that's been a winning formula on 2 occasions. There's 2.
I think for Oklahoma State, just getting a couple different players in that can help elevate your program to that next level. And I think with the transfer that they've gotten this year, if they can get hot at the right time, if Xiao can get a little bit of better consistency in the circle, hit her spots a little bit better. She's given up a good amount of runs, walked a decent amount. I think you have to shore up those things. And the beauty of it is that we are just starting season. There is a long road. We're at the bottom of the mountain. We're trying to climb up. So there is a lot and a ton of time.
overthrown in the dust. So now that's ball 4. There's Shao. So here are some of the notable transfers, and this is one of those Oregon to Texas transfers. Mike White, the athletic department, does not match the salary Texas wanted to pay him. A couple players go to Austin. We saw G. Juarez earlier today. The All-American at Arizona State is now a potential All-American at Oklahoma. Amanda Sanchez is another. We've seen a few transfers out of Missouri's program, and she lands at a different SEC institution this year at LSU.
And when those gals left to go to Texas with Mike White, they left right away. They knew that they were going, and I have respect for the athlete following their coach that they completely went to a program for. When Mike White recruited those, Elish, all those players, he recruited them to play for him. And he got this UT Texas job, and some of them having 2 years left. So, I mean, you want to play. Ultimately, you go to a program because you have that connection with the coach, right? You choose programs because you love that coach. I'm going to play the best that I can possibly play for you. I respect you. Your teammates are that added bonus. And so with those guys leaving to go to Texas, I had no problem with that. It was when you had a couple that were transferring like 2 weeks before the season started. I thought that was a little funky.
And the situation in Oregon has received much attention, not just in Eugene, but nationally as well. And so now it's Melissa Lombardi, in her first year in Eugene. Heart of the order coming up for the Golden Bears. They try to erase this 3-run deficit. Done with 5 in Clearwater. Welcome back to the St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational presented by Wilson. The Sunshine Skyway Bridge. Fantastic city venue for this first annual St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational. Most of the teams that attended the event last night, it was down near the water. The teams were there for some great food, some games, and the mayor of Clearwater grabbed the microphone for a moment and expressed his really joy to see so much talent in a city that loves softball. It really embraces not just baseball and softball, but this is a softball community dating back a half century ago. There was a terrific professional softball team here in Clearwater, the Bombers, that really just laid the foundation for the interest of the sport here in the city. And look what we've got, a sellout today to see 11 ranked teams, and actually 14 of the 16 teams in this invitational were in the NCAA tournament a year ago. It really does not get that much better, or cannot get much better. So if you want tickets for tomorrow's showcase, visit St. Pete Clearwater EliteInvite.com. Because look, it's going to be number 6 ranked Tennessee, 2nd ranked Florida State at 7 Eastern time. If you're not here, it's on ESPN2 with the A team, Beth Mowens, Michelle Smith, Amanda Scarborough as well, Holly Rowe on the call.
I could get used to that Sunday night softball on ESPN2. Take it. I think that should be a thing.
Thanks too, by the way, on somewhat on that subject, to Meg Aronowitz, of course, instrumental in getting this invitational up and running. And remember, we'll be here for the next couple years as well.
You cannot forget to mention Michelle Smith. She is the reason that softball is such a big deal as well in this area. She's poured her heart and soul into this event and has been thinking about doing something like this for quite some time, and finally the vision board has been put to the field. And I mean, it's unbelievable what she does for our sport. I'm fortunate enough I get to see her, but I grew up being a fan. And one of the questions we were asked yesterday that I didn't get to answer, if you got to face any pitcher from back in the day, who would it be? And I would love to have faced Michelle Smith, because she's so nice when you talk to her, but I can't even imagine what she was like when you face her in the circle.
Pennington charges. Low throw, 2 outs. Michelle Smith or Kat Osterman? Which would you rather? You mentioned you watched Kat quite a bit growing up.
Well, when I got to play with Kat, I've seen her throw. I've seen her throw with Team USA. I never got the chance to see Michelle Smith and like play against her with Team Canada. Another one would definitely be Lisa Fernandez. She's actually one of the coaches for UCLA. She intimidated. I'm not going to say that anymore. She intimidated me a lot. Just the way that her demeanor was, and I remember my first call that I got on the phone with her to do like a scouting report for her pitchers and stuff, and I was like set up, prepped an hour before the call. I was so nervous.
It's about as far back as you can hit it. Cowgirls trying to build on their 4-1 lead in Clearwater. Here are our co-MVPs brought to you by Wilson today. Maddie Sue Montgomery went yard in the 4th. And then Riley Bayless, after a couple strikeouts, battled back. The emotion she drove into with a base hit later in that inning. Oklahoma State by 3. This could be back-to-back wins for the for the Cowgirls. That's a way to get you on a bad list in Stillwater, and they defeated Utah last night, and now trying for their 2nd straight win here in Clearwater.
Well, if you're Dung headed out here, you want to have a really quick inning, give your team the best chance. 3 outs left, try to make something happen to get back in this game.
She's faced 4 since entering in the 4th inning. She's retired 4. Cal, a fine 2018 season. But you got to think a luxury for this year's team compared to a season ago is having both Conley and Dung, back. They threw 95% of the innings last year. They both return. One more year of seasoning in the Pac-12, and so that's got to be a nice luxury.
So how can you get them to a place where they can elevate this Cal team is my question. So the work you put in the off season, we listen to Coach Diane Neinmeyer talk a little bit about what Angelica Selden brings as far as being a new pitching coach, coming from UCLA where she played, not coming where she was the coach, but where she played at UCLA. She had a lot of success. So that she's going to help them get some new pitches. But it's really about bringing that energy, bringing that consistency every single day. And that's what is extremely exhausting being a pitcher. And I can say this, a lot of these young ladies are lucky because they're not throwing every single game. They have the ability to have someone to help. So it's a hey, you pitch one game and then I pitch, or something like that. I think it was more mentally challenging back in the day when you were throwing every single inning, because that's hard to be consistent day in and day out, no room for error. A lot of teams pitch by committee a little bit more.
Your Olympic resume speaks for itself. So why do you think you were successful at that?
It's all I knew. I didn't have a choice. We didn't have a lot of extra help. We had someone that left the program that would have definitely been a solid number 2, and she left and we didn't have anyone else. But it's not like I was the only one. Angelica Selden, the pitching coach for Cal, she pretty much threw every single game for UCLA. I mean, it was the expectation back in the day. And now hitting has definitely gotten better, where I think you need more pitching. But I would love the pitcher's game, more so their mindset, to elevate to where they feel like, no doubt I could throw every single day, but I could play the same team every day and continue to get better. That's the hard part. You head to conference, you play a lot of these same teams back-to-back days, and that's why the beauty of having another pitcher helps you. But if you have to play the same team, I remember playing Pac-12 weekends, playing the same team 3 times. That's exhausting.
Number 55, Chelsea
Boy,
Alexander.
Kamalani Dung has settled into quite a rhythm. Has faced 6 batters, has retired 6, has struck the last 3 out. Now Sydney Springfield with 2 outs. Dung trying to keep this a 3-run game. The Golden Bears have 3 outs to work with to try to score 3 in the top half of the 7th at least, to stave off another defeat. You want to talk about challenge to start the year. The Golden Bears were down in Louisiana last weekend, had to play a ranked Louisiana Lafayette team twice. You're here at this elite invitational. They're on the road against St. Mary's on Wednesday, only to then turn around and go play in the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. Back-to-back weekends in the most star-studded tournaments in the nation.
But that's what you need to do. And if your end goal is, obviously you want to make the postseason and you want to win your regional, win your super regional, and get to the Women's College World Series, because I believe when you get to the World Series, anything can happen. But you have to play these grueling schedules. You have to play these teams that you're uncomfortable playing against and where you really are going to struggle. Because if you don't struggle, you're not going to get better in the game, because you're always just going to continue to think like, oh, I'm pretty good, I keep winning. But when you get humbled on that mound or in that batter's box, there's nothing better than that. Even though it sucks at the time, it's worth it, because it makes you go back to your hotel room or your dorm room or wherever you're living and make you really dig deep as far as, okay, what am I going to bring to elevate my game so I can be better? What's my work ethic going to be from here on forward? Because these seniors don't have a lot of time left, right? Their season goes by like that, 4 years goes by like that.
You want something that spawns growth at some point in the season.
It's usually when you really struggle, because that's when you ask for help. And I think when you're able to realize, like, man, I'm kind of in the dumps here, like everyone definitely has my back, but how can I figure this out? That's when you're able to try to slow the game down a little bit and one pitch at a time, opposed to trying to do too much.
Danielle, 7 strikeouts for Conley today. She started, 3 more for Dung, who's in the circle. Oklahoma State, though, scores its 4 runs in a 4th inning, where it only tallied 2 hits.
Well, in looking at a box score briefly, you go, oh, Conley threw great. But no, she didn't. She didn't throw good enough to put her team in a position where she's going to get the W. Dung had to come in. She threw great the first time through the lineup, but she didn't throw good enough to make the adjustment to stay in this game.
Now almost a terrific catch by Lindsey Rude at Athletic. She was gliding towards that fence.
It's not saying that Conley can't. I mean, she's definitely good enough to be as consistent as she was the first 4 innings or 3 innings throughout the whole game. It's a mindset shift.
9th pitch of the at-bat. Springfield works a walk. Dung nearly struck out the side.
Now batting number 7, center fielder Riley Bayless.
Got a 3-2 pitch. What? I want that.
So now it's Alexander. Pardon me, it's Riley Bayless.
Those 2 RBIs from Bayless, key for this Oklahoma State team right now, headed into top of the 7th inning. A 1-run ball game is intimidating to go in and pitch to, but when you have a 4-1, those 2 extra RBIs, it definitely eases up the mentality in the circle a little bit.
Return all foul balls to a volunteer staff member or bring to the PA announcer's table.
I believe that mouthpiece says battle. And Bayless exemplified that today. Twice struck out and came back with that 2-run single you referenced.
I thought that looked just like my daughter's binky when she had it. Like, I don't see them like that. Look at that thing. Is a lot of times they'll put them in to calm their mouth from moving when they're swinging. So whether they talk or their teeth, my brother used to wear one, and they clench down on it, and it's supposed to like maybe eliminate a ton of head movement. My brother tried to explain it to me because I said he looked like a goof when he wore it, because his had like teeth on it.
Bayless beats out the throw.
Gets to the plate for the Cowgirls, number 5, Kylie Naomi.
That was just kind of a lucky she was able to even get the end of the bat on the ball. But she's got the speed and is able to leg out the base hit.
Hit hard, foul down the line. Naomi a chance, if for nothing else, to extend the hit streak. She's hit safely in 7 straight, but hitless today. More importantly, it could pad the lead. Oklahoma State faces Hofstra later today, trying to leave Clearwater with 3 wins. It's over our heads. We'll do it again. Not just Oklahoma who the Cowgirls have to deal with this season in Big 12 play. Texas has improved. Baylor will be in that mix at the top of the conference as well. Good spot, and the inning is over. Cal has to rally, down 3. Bluford, Perez, Kondo looking to get things rolling. Sydney Shao trying for the complete game. And 3 outs away from leading Oklahoma State to its 2nd straight win.
And if anyone is going to close out this game, it's the defensive MVP. Sponsored, brought to you by Wilson. 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, a couple Ks. Love that she's limited her walks, only 82 pitches. She should be able to shut the door here.
Leading off from California, number 11, Destiny Bluford.
Samantha Shao has retired 11 straight hitters. What's happened since the 4th inning?
And she just settled in nicely. I mean, there's nothing better than when your team goes and puts up runs on the board. I think you put runs up on the board, it adds fuel to my fire in the circle. It gets me fired up out there, makes me want to go and put zeros up on the board for you.
We saw Megan King yesterday post her 44th career complete game and a win over Ohio State. But this may be the most dominant stretch we have seen, at least consecutively, on the mound for a player that we've watched. And this could be 12 straight retired. Bluford is done, 1 away. The backhand by Pennington down the line.
Now batting for the Golden Bears.
Pennington makes the good scoop
24, Alexandra Perez.
with the cannon over to get the speedy Bluford. Leadoff outs are key. Coming up with the clutch D.
Strong arm at 3rd. Is key as well. Perez 0 for 2 today. Sam Shao has allowed just 3 hits.
And I think Cal just has to be better with making adjustments. They come out in the 1st inning, score right off the bat, and then they're quieted the rest of this game. So whatever they were able to energy-wise bring to that 1st inning, it definitely went away throughout the game. And it's figuring out how Shao is attacking you at bat to at bat, pitch to pitch, and being able to transfer that information over to your teammates.
Thomas took that one right off the chest protector. And so this almost schizophrenic weekend for Cal continues. Got shut out in their 1st game, then scored 7 against a ranked JMU team, only to come back today and tally 1 run. There's still 2 outs to work with.
with the walk-off run rule over LSU. Can't say I was expecting that, were you?
LSU has played well this weekend. Florida State just better. Oklahoma State a bit better of late in this game, and this is down to the final out.
Florida State looks good. They look really strong offensively, and with what they have in the circle, there's nothing better than an experienced pitcher, not to mention one that's won a Women's College World Series. So she has that and can bring it into this season, help out the other pitchers on staff, but that's every coach's dream, to have a players, but a pitcher that has won a World Series and you still get another year with them.
Let's have fun one more time. First weekend in June, Florida State and who else in that series? Who do you have in there?
UCLA. It's tough to go against Rachel Garcia.
Rachel Garcia and Megan King would be a nice individual battle. But we have quite a ways to go until June.
Yeah, and UCLA's problem last year was they only had pretty much one pitcher. So Garcia got to the World Series and she was pretty good right away, and then she got tired and they had to play a couple elimination games, and there's no way in that heat that she was capable to go the whole way. So I think the key for UCLA is their incoming freshman pitcher good enough to throw in some big games and put up some big numbers. So Garcia is definitely good enough, but can she get the help?
This should be the 14th consecutive batter retired for Shao. Game over, and Oklahoma State wins it 4-1. A complete game for Shao. She retires the final 14 in a row.
And that's what you like. The senior settled down, had a rocky first inning, but that means nothing. Her team came up offensively, had her back, scored her 4 runs. She was able to close the door. Super impressed with Oklahoma State, and I see them making pretty big